Hi there, and welcome back to another video. I wanted to make a quick settings update because there's been one or two changes that I've made with mine, and I've gotten a lot of questions about them over the last week here. You might see immediately I'm on Windows Borderless mode as opposed to just exclusive full screen, which I thought exclusive full screen would always have to be better, like no matter what it has to. Apparently not anymore. Windows has upgraded the Windows Borderless technology that used to exist. It's better now, but it's better because of a different application. So before we get to that, everything else here should be the same except for no limit on FPS. I'm using that different application to limit the FPS instead, which is helping with the Windows Borderless. Everything else is off half frame rate or low. So even though I've got a good enough PC to run everything, I assume some of that will add input lag. I always have all my graphic settings as low as possible. It's FIFA, who cares? But as for the other application, it's this one here. This is RivaTuner Statistics Server, RTSS for short. What you end up doing here, you have to add it, so you've got to find the program path for FC25. Once you find it, these are the settings I use. The 120 frame rate limit is coming from there, as opposed to from the in-game settings or from the file here now. So I used to have max frame rate set here, 120. Is now this application. This always has to be up, I believe, so you'll always want RTSS open, but that is taking priority over anything else in the game. So maximize your refresh rate in this setting. Everything else is, aside from Windows Borderless, which is at 1, that's what I'm using now. Everything else is -1, except for this NAS at full FPS. I have no idea what the setting is, but everything else is as low as possible. Might as well. I have an additional setting here, because sometimes this will reset. I don't know why that's been an adjustment with the settings for me recently. So I've got a separate file that I just copy and paste over into that one, so I don't have to go through and type -1 for all of them every time. Because sometimes I pop into the game and all of this is maximized for some, or all of this is reset for some reason. But let's take a look at RTSS. So I have everything else off. Application detection low. If you have it on too high, sometimes anti-cheat will recognize it. But some other games have a problem with this. EA's games do not seem to have a problem with it. So yeah, your frame rate limit is there, and then in setup, if you've got an Nvidia GPU, I should clarify, I believe this is all Nvidia technology. You're gonna come to the setup setting, general. It should start on async. You'll want to move that to Nvidia Reflex. That, I think, is a technology that makes Windows Borderless better. And I turn enable passive waiting off, because that's supposed to limit the queue time for the frames. That's what this setting is doing, or that's what this application is doing. Somebody in the comments named Comanso left a lot of really detailed comments and helped me set this up, so I do really appreciate them. Shout out for that. But from my understanding of the technology, it's getting additional access to the GPU that games wouldn't normally be allowed to have, and instead of queuing frames and putting an FPS limiter on top of that, it's kind of doing it all at the same time instead of having a slight delay to it. So it's just a better way of limiting your frames, which again is kind of silly to me. I would not think that would need to be a thing that exists, but here we are. I definitely feel it's significantly better. It's helping me stream because Windows Borderless is a little easier. Now I can actually draw over the application itself as opposed to needing to pull a new image over the full screen application, anything like that. You alt tab out of it immediately, so that's all nice. It's a lot more convenient for streaming. I also feel like it's a lot faster. I think there's slightly more PC usage with it, so you might feel, depending on the PC that you have, it might be a little more resource intensive, but I feel like it's faster. With that RTSS application up, it's actually giving me trouble if I use full screen, so only Windows Borderless from now on. But again, I feel like it's just that extra millisecond or two faster, and I think that's worth it. Beyond that, I don't think I've got any other adjustments. I did tell somebody on stream that I wasn't sure if this overclocking setting was actually faster for FIFA, if it was messing with something. I've been using it on... Since telling that person I was messing with it, I've been using it on ever since with trying to increase the hertz, the refresh rate of the controller, or the input rate of the controller. I forget the term for it, but controller is now overclocked for sure. I definitely feel like it's faster. Beyond that, there's been no other adjustments. I wanted to make a quick little update video. So Windows Borderless, use that application. There will be a link in the description if you want to find it. beyond that, everything else should be the same. Again, quick little video. Hope this will help. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good night. Peace.